Morning guys, Scott from SE Landscaping, and we are into July. I'm just flying solo today. I'm off to about 25 minutes away down the road to Stockton to cut a site with our first mower. I've got our 48-inch in the back of the van, so no trailer needed today, just the mower and a strimmer, petrol strimmer today, as I've got some public footpaths to do on the way home, and the battery strimmers are all good for the sort of general day-to-day, but I tend to take the petrol strimmer when I'm on the public rights of way. So you need a lot of power when you're cutting down sort of 2 meters of grass. So that's it, kit packed. So I just thought I'd have 5 minutes to talk about work, and made a couple of decisions recently. Business has been growing year to year, and if nobody knows, I'm sort of heading to my mid-40s, 43-year-old. So although I look 33, but that's another story. So the business has grown, and with it the staff's grown, the equipment's grown, and the income's grown. And for a lot of years I didn't have any money, as I've said on previous videos. The last few years, or sort of 5-6 years, I've had money, and I've banked money, and I've put a lot of money into pensions the last few years just to plan for the future. And with work, like I say, in an ideal world you grow business and you have lots of staff and they're all amazing and everything like that, and all the equipment you send out is like, you know, new. So the business grows and everything, but it comes with lots of downsides, it comes with stress, lots of hours and everything. And this week is a prime example. I had two guys who, one was working with me all day and another one was doing another bit of work, and it was an apprentice who was doing the other bit of work. So at about 2 o'clock I had to go to another job with another guy, so we left them on a job, and it was basically a bit of weeding, nothing flash, just pull out some weeds on an area that council wanted us to tidy up, a couple of shrub beds, 10 square metres each. So we left them, and I had to nip back to, I had to nip somewhere, and I had to pass this site. So I passed the site about 30 minutes later. So here they are, sat on this bench about 20 metres away from the job. So they've been sort of hand waiting for half an hour, and all of a sudden they need a rest, young lads. So I thought, fair enough, I'll leave it. I can't be asked, to be honest, anymore. So I sent one of my lads back to the site another 20 minutes later, and what do we find? They still sat on the same bench. So you start to ask yourself, what is the point? I'm out today myself, I've been out solo most of the week myself, and to be fair, I do enjoy working on my own. So you start to say to yourself, do you not just cut your losses and downsize, potter around on your own, and maybe with one man possibly, reduce the workload and all stuff like that, because I just don't think people want it anymore. It's annoying at times, and like I say, you're trying to train new people up and show them ways that you operate, everything like that, and unfortunately it's just going in one ear and out the other. So the next few months is key for me. I'm really considering what I'm going to keep next year. And the good thing is, recently, I think I've mentioned with the students, I brought the student job in, and it sounds daft, but it is easy money. These sites, we've got them how we want them, as well as a lot of other stuff, mind. It's not just the students that I've got how we want them, but I've got a lot of jobs that I know how I want these sites done. They're tidy. There's very little to do on them each visit, just a general tidy, and if you keep on top of weeds and stuff like that, that's how sites keep going. So if you keep on top of them, the more you do on each visit, the little bits. So for instance, pick out a weed that's 6 inches tall rather than wait until it's 6 foot tall, because that 6 foot tall one will have 20 more weeds next to it. And the key is, if you do that, you always have clean and tidy sites. So for example, I was at one of the students yesterday and we cut 4 hedges, just small hedges, but we cut 4 hedges and they're all tidy, and next time we'll do another 4 hedges, and as you work around the site it always looks tidy. The customer always sees you doing something. And it's not just the students, that's just an example. We have other work that's in the same boat, where I have some good clients who I get paid for delivering a decent service, and we pretty much left to do what we want and we get paid. So I'm really pondering at the moment what I'm going to do next year. Some contracts are running out and I know that if I tender for them again I'll get them back, but it's to the point now where do I really want all this hassle? Because I just don't think it's worth it. I just don't think people value a pay slip anymore, unfortunately. I think everybody just wants things so easy. So it might be just an off week, but that's how I'm feeling. And what does it mean for me as a business? It means that if I keep the really good jobs, like the really good contracts I've got, it means nothing really. It means I can still invest in gear, I can still get what I want out of the business that I've worked hard for, and it just means that I've got less customers and a bit less of a turnover. So yes, I wouldn't have as much to invest, but the business is at a point now where I don't need to invest £100,000 a year like I have in the past, because I've got that gear. So say 4 of my machines I bought last year are all new, I can invest in 1 per year. So straight away there's £60,000-70,000 there that you don't need to spend each year, that you don't need to invest back in your business, because you know that you're going to renew that next year and next year, and you only renew 1 machine this year. So that's the way I'm thinking. It'll be a lot less hassle, a lot less stress, because the only thing that causes me stress is other people. I can go out and, like back in the day, I went out with me little trailer and my little bit of gear, and it was just me and there was no hassle. Yes, the money wasn't there, but I was still making money. So I think by going back and not needing to expand, yes, I would like to keep a business. I would ideally, my plan was to get a business up to 5 or 6 lads, which it is, and send out sort of 3 teams. But unfortunately, I'm just at a point now where all the stress in here is coming from other people, and you start to think to yourself, what's the point? So if people don't value you, then why should you value them if they're causing you so much stress? So that is the way I'm thinking at the moment, and we've beaten this year now. We're into July, so we're halfway, we're on the downhill now. The worst of the season is done, that mad growth spurt we had. Now obviously the grass is dying off, so everything's a bit slower, apart from certain sites. This one I'm going to, for instance, where it's a bit of a wet site even in the dry. I think we do have a leak, but they're not prepared to investigate. So we're going there today, and I have customers that like this site, for instance, here, that I think I'll have this as long as the business is there. I will have this as a customer. And it's one of them that it's an easy job, it's an in-out. They don't want nothing flash. I'm going to go and cut the grass and I'll go back in 2 weeks. Last fortnight, a week, killed the footpath, and I did a bit of pruning in the car park, and apart from that, that's it. So I get well paid for this, for going here, and like I say, on the way back I've got another job to do, just to finish off the day on some public rights of way. So that's the way I'm thinking. I think it could be more enjoyable, less stressful, which you don't want to be stressed at work. Yes, we're all up against the weather and stressed about it's rained for 3 days and I'm behind and stuff. That's fine, but the day-to-day stresses of dropping someone on a job and thinking, is he actually doing anything, or is he just taking the piss? And like I say, I worked for a company for a lot of years, and my old boss had a nervous breakdown, and he was managing 40 to 50 lads. And now that I've run a business and I've had lads, not 40 to 50, but I've had lads, I understand where he was coming from and what he had on his shoulders, and everything he put into the business, and the day-to-day 40 to 50 lads, 3 phoning sick and one of them hurts himself at work, and 2 of them break gear, and all these things add up over a daily basis, and you can understand why people in management get stressed and everything. So that's the way I'm thinking, and there'll be some more updates. This isn't just something raw because of what's happened this week. This is something that's been going on for a year or 2 years, and I've just put up with it, and it's just getting to the point now where, and people say pay more money. I do pay more money, and you'll get better lads. You don't get better lads. That's the problem. So I've had experienced lads. I had an experienced lad a couple of years ago I paid more money to, and he was clueless. He just didn't know the job, to be honest. Yes, he's got an NVQ, but you may as well have opened that window and thrown it out as a piece of tissue paper, because he was useless. And that's the problem. So the other plan would be, if I'm desperate with people, I will use subcontractors. I've got some good lads I can call up on, who I use now and again. And if it comes to it, then I'll just get subcontractors in to do bits of work. So it solves all the problems, because I can still make money from subcontractors. So that's where we are. I am now at the job, guys, so I shall get you a bit of footage in a little bit once we get signed in and everything. I'll get you a bit of footage of the Ferris in action, and we will catch up with you in a bit. there's your 48 with a little bit to spare, but not much. If you look, it's up to the wheel arches there. A little bit to spare on the tyre. And that is a wrap. Cut, trimmed and blown. So that's a bit of a in and out job. Apart from a couple of shrub areas on the site and a bit of weed killing in the car parks, that's sort of the bare. It's not a small site, but it's something you can nip around in an hour and a half. You saw the couple areas that was to cut front and back of the factory. It was a little bit outside, and then the worst of the strimming's the banks. Obviously the banks take a bit of time, but not a huge amount of time, sort of 15 minutes. So I have about 30-35 of these in and out, what I call in and out jobs, hour and a half to 2 hours. And like I say, I do spend, because of the way I price them, I do usually spend a little bit more time, but with the weed killing and the pruning being on top and the grass being pretty short there today, there was actually nothing at all I could do with that little bit of extra time. So I've come away early. I am going to do some public footpaths now, but like I say, usually I would spend an extra 10, 20 minutes, 25 minutes just on the job, just making something else tidy, and it just adds a bit of value, because we only get paid to prune the shrubs at the front of the office twice a year, but we tend to do them 4 times just because we can, in with because of the speed of operation and everything else. Some of you guys will prefer just to knock job after job off and say, right, well, that's what we get paid for, that's what we'll do. But if you can add a bit extra, and at the end of the year you can say, look, we pruned them 4 times instead of, and we weed killed the car park 6 times instead of twice, just so they have a bit better service. People do recognise it, they will recognise it. It's not all about going to tender all the time, and that I can prove that with some of the clients I've had for 10, 12 years now, who just keep coming back and don't go to tender. So like I say, that one's done for another fortnight. We'll go go back again in 2 weeks and do it all again. So we're coming into sort of busy period for hedge cutting now. A lot of hedges will be due the first cut. Now we're getting near the end of bird nesting season and things. We have done, like I say, on that side, we have done things like that side and other small ones, but we haven't tackled a huge amount of hedges yet. And I think this year, I have noticed this year things have been growing a bit faster than they usually do. That might be just my area, other people might disagree, but up here definitely I know hedges I've cut on a regular basis and usually have a certain amount of growth on, and they're sort of really long at the moment. So we'll be getting on with the hedges over the next sort of 4 to 6 weeks, and as well as keeping on top with other stuff. And then, like I say, it'll be downhill to the end of the season. So thanks for watching again, guys. Any questions on any of the kit? The Ferris Z1 I was using there, the 48-inch. You saw that when I was putting it back in the van, there's sort of, with the deck, there's no room to spare with it. Basically, there's a bit of room to spare with the wheels, but you have to be so accurate putting it away, otherwise you'll be pulling the plywood wheel arches off. I was also using the Stihl FS460. I buy these 460s, or used to buy a lot of these 460s for the footpaths mainly, because the footpaths you need a bit of good power. We have invested a lot in battery strimmers over the last sort of couple of years that we're using for just standard jobs, where it's just a strim around the edges and things. But when you need a bit of higher performance, it will come eventually, but like I say, it's not there quite yet. I wouldn't feel confident taking a battery strimmer into some of the paths we do. So that was what we were using today. If anybody had any questions about them, they are a good quality clearance saw. So thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you on the next one.